So Nyquist's theorem states that to faithfully recreate an analog signal, you need to sample at least twice the highest frequency. So to understand this and to remember it, you need to understand what a frequency is and make sure you're happy with that. So in analog sound, a high frequency is like below here when you've got lots and lots of waves closer together. And you've got a lower frequency, which is your deeper sounds, which are more spread out. Okay, and obviously, like let's say it was a music track, they're going to fluctuate. The sound waves are going to sometimes be higher frequencies, sometimes be lower frequencies. Now, what you need to do, Nyquist's theorem, is that you need to make sure you sample at least twice the highest frequency. That is because imagine that this wave here, zoomed in, was the section of highest frequency within the sound wave. Okay, if you didn't sample twice that frequency, you wouldn't necessarily pick up all the peaks and the troughs. Because the reason we go for twice the highest frequency, it says at least, you should go a lot higher than that, but at least is because you can assume that if the highest frequency is like this, and we sample at twice that rate, then the chances are we will have something picking up the higher end of that wave and something picking up the lower end, because we are sampling, we need really at least two representations per wave, per peak, so we pick up these peaks and the troughs. Okay, so if we didn't follow Nyquist's theorem, there's a chances that elements of our sound waves could be like this. So that is not in any way accurately represented. But if we make sure we're increasing it to the minimum of twice the highest frequency, hopefully higher, you will start to see something looking a bit more like this. And if you traced it and created a digital equivalent of that, it would be a much closer representation of that analog wave. And that's the whole point of sound sampling, is we are trying to recreate those analog waves and trying to digitize them and recreate them as faithfully as possible. So the key thing to remember is just the bit in bold, that Nyquist's theorem is just stating that you should sample at least twice the highest frequency, and the reason being is to try and ensure you pick up the peaks and the troughs of the analog signal.